Welcome back once again. It is time for the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days. Pika, you gotta update the notes. Oh, I have to turn the page. My bad. Oh, sorry. Welcome back to the Comics Coffee Table. Pull up a chair, sit down beside us, bring a cup of whatever it is you're putting under your nose today, pal. Leave the real world over there. Come and join us for a couple of minutes in a day where we talk about comic books. It's New Release Sunday. Sundays, that's the day that I go over what I bought on Wednesday at the local comic book shop. We meet here at this Comics Coffee Table. Let's see, the coffee table was always where my friends and I would congregate, shoot the breeze. There would always be a stack of movies, a stack of music, a stack of books, and yes, a stack of comic books that we were always trying to turn each other on to, and it was really fun. And I'm trying to recreate that spirit here with everyone here, with you guys. And thank you so much for being a part of it. You are the most important ingredient in this recipe, in our show. If I'm able to make the 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern live chat premiere, I will be there with you guys talking about comic books. It's so good to see new faces showing up in the chat and in the comment section. Keep the comments coming. That continues this comic book shop style conversations. I make a big deal about the comic book shop. I love my local comic book shops. I live in the Boston area where we have a good amount of them, but every time a comic book shop closes, it's like a star goes out in the sky, and there's just, once these stores are gone, they're gone. With record stores and mall toy stores, there'll always be some kind of niche market, just like a boutique store, sure, but the direct market as we know it could be changing. Floppies as we know it could be changing. Yeah, the future is uncertain, but until then, go to your local comic book shop, buy your supplies there. I'm buying my supplies there. I'm reboxing, rebagging, reboarding my entire collection. You'll see that kind of content during the week, and on Sundays we talk about the new comics that I'm getting. While I'm there at the comic book shop getting my new releases and the occasional old comic book too, I pick up my supplies there. I'm getting short boxes, and I'm buying bags, and I am buying acid-free boards at the comic book shop itself, and with the markup as well, because it's important for me to help contribute to the overall success in life of my local comic book shop, my LCS. And, 'cause I could be getting these off my online supply chain, with the free shipping and the built-in movie network. You know what I'm talking about. And getting, a discount and getting exactly what I wanted, for when it comes to my lights. They're hard to come by these days. But you know what? I'm going to buy what's being offered, and I'm going to be fine with that. And it's up to us to help keep our local comic book shops open with our patronage. So go and redistribute your wealth where you want to. That's how I'm doing it, and I want my comic book shop to be open as long as humanly possible. You know what I mean? To outlive me. You know what I mean? And be part of the next generation. So, that's kind of morbid, dude. What? I just read what he writes down. I'm the talent. He's the producer, the writer of the show. But yeah, so we are going to talk about my new releases. What's in the bag? What's in the bag? This is the ubiquitous Comic Book Shop-Style paper bag. Costs 10 cents extra. I'm fine with that. And it's recyclable because it's paper. Inside the bag, we have Funnybooks, new Funnybooks. Did I get all of these from the comic book shop? All but one. One came in the mail through crowdfunding. We're going to save that one for last. But in no particular order. Well, maybe. Here, just okay. We'll start off with issue 4 of 5 by Mark Millar. We have Nemesis Reloaded. For me, it's the weakest issue, but it's written for the trade. It's 5 issues. It's the penultimate issue. Everything leads to the end, where it's going to tie in to this big game, which is Mark Millar tying in a bunch of his Millarverse comics into one big crossover. So this is the Millarverse crossover event. Yeah, this is going to be huge, and Miller promises he's got great things planned for this. So it's going to cross over with like Magic Order and a couple of other of his titles, maybe all of them. Maybe the Chrononauts will show up. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, the art is fabulous. I mean, it's art by Jorge Jimenez. It's over the top, bloody, merciless. It's cruel, and it's just so very well done. It's just what if Batman was evil? You had this very trained, motivated individual, and it's all about revenge. And he does it with glee, and it's really interesting too. It's written by a Scottish man who's been writing these go for the throat comic books for over 20 years, and it's very contemporary because it's about burning and rioting in the streets. It's about violence towards the police. Does it support? See, this is a well-written comic book. It's not preachy, as far as I can tell. It's not advocating one thing or the other. It's fantasy. It's a fictional Earth. It's a dystopian place where this stuff's allowed to happen. And it's also at the same time it's very close to home. Well, if you want to see it, because we're so trained, our tastes have been so, inculcated to want to have intersecting things of reality in our fictions, because, well, that's activism. That's what happens when we hire activists instead of story writers. It's not about activism in here. It's about a fantastic world where hyperviolence is the order of the day, and you have this Nemesis anti-hero, this villain. He's not even an anti-hero. He's a villain. He's a bad guy. But it's taking the notion of Batman and turning it as an anti-Batman. It's really interesting. And I don't read. Oh, I think that was done by the writer's kid. I think that's cool. And yeah, there's one more issue left on sale, 10th of May, and I'll be there for that. This is really good. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, but this is I feel like the weakest issue of the 4 I've got so far, but it's, like I said, it's written for the trade. It's hard for me to feel actual tension. There are definitely WTF moments in any Miller book. I was looking for the Ambassadors issue number 2. It was out of stock on new release day on Wednesday at 3 p.m. The store had only been open since 11. So in 4 hours, they sold however many copies that they had on their shelf. I don't know. It's none of my business. But I like the hunt, and I don't want a pull list. I don't have a box. I have a shelf. I go to the shelf, and I talk to the guy too. I talk to everyone that works there, and I know quite well that the issues that I miss, write them down, and they will appear on the shelves in their due time. They will come back. So I'm still looking for Flash 792. It's going to come up one of these days. I'm looking for Nightclub number 3. I'll find it one of these days. For me, that's one of the loves of it. Are going when you're at a different comic book shop and you're like, oh wow, let me look at my list. Oh wow, I got this. I'm getting this, and that. That's what I'm about. And yeah, so this was $3.99 Image. Comics, and Jorge Jimenez. He's coming back to Batman too next month. Batman number 135, aka Batman number 900. Yep, and the return of Jorge Jimenez to Chip Zdarsky's Batman. This is from IDW. This is cute and it's really fun. I've got one of the G.I. Joe ones before. Javane Dargan suggested it to me one day on Wes's Thinking Critical when we were on the panel together. He said, you should check out the Saturday Morning Adventures G.I. Joe. And I did, and it was great because it's pitch perfect to the old early 80s cartoon. And so is this. 40 years ago on CBS and Saturday mornings was this tale, this really awesome cartoon called Dungeons and Dragons that was based after the TSR role-playing game. 20-sided dice. I rolled a 14, if you believe me. Whatever that means. This group of friends go on an amusement park ride, which is actually a portal to this distant land where they are now, in the land of Dungeons and Dragons, and each one has their own gift and their own weapon that goes with that, their own unique weapon and a gift associated with the weapon, and it's really fun, and I can literally hear the voice actors in every voice bubble. And I was a kid. I was 9-10 years old when this came out 40 years ago, and 10 going on 11 rather. And Saturday mornings were a big deal. We didn't have. It was the 20th century. We didn't have cable TV showing cartoons anytime you want, or the a la carte libraries of online content. We had Saturday mornings, and it was a special time to be a kid between 6 a.m. and noon. All three major networks and your UHF affiliates played cartoons in kids programming. Like wrestling came on about 11:30 noon time, and also the kaiju movies like Creature Feature and Creature Double Feature. So Saturday was always like a fun TV day for me. And but yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. This was fun, and it's on IDW. I gotta say, I bought 5 new releases this week, and none of them are the big two. The big two being Marvel, which I never really ever buy from. I'm starting to warm up. Like I told you before, I'm going to take suggestions about Marvel Comics. I'm going to put it through my usual filter of have they blocked me on Twitter, and that's going to dictate to me whether it's good to buy or not. So Dungeons and Dragons, this was fun. Really fun. I showed this yesterday on Wes's channel, and they were like, whoa, that's out and about? And I'm like, yeah, brand new. And they were like, oh, that flew under my radar. So I'm psyched that I actually got to make a bona fide recommendation to the rest of the panel, because I've been the beneficiary of their suggestions for months now. Months. And it's nice that I feel as though I paid it back and paid it forward. Awesome. This is a really fun comic book, and I'm glad I picked it up. And it's an IDW as well. IDW is facing financial calamity, and like their stock has plummeted, literally, like stock markets. It's like it's been under $1 a share for several weeks now, and things don't look too good for IDW, and their current iteration, I guess, and wishing them well and success that they can get out of it. And I actually ended up buying 2 IDWs this week. Here are 2 comics that they were great because it was slim pickings for the big 2 this week, especially DC Comics, of which I buy a lot now. And but I saw both of these on Yule Carter's Fantastic Comics weekly show, and these are Nightfall. Actually, this is Vault Comics. This is The Nasty, issue number 1 by John Lees, art by George Kembade and Adam Cahoon. And here's your Indicia colophon right there. There's your indicia colophon. It's interesting. It's about this kid, like me, who, in 1982, grew up an inch away from the television and was obsessed with horror movies. And he's an only child, too. And so, like, the story is charming and hits home for me. So he grows up with an imaginary friend. So, Red Ennis. This is the bad guy from. He's like the Jason or Freddy of the made up movie. So Red Ennis becomes the kid's imaginary friend all of his life. And then in 1994, there's a video store and a group of friends. And then there's a haunted video cassette. A haunted video cassette that, and then Red Ennis appears to manifested in reality. We will find out. Will we find out? Will we get issue number 2? I don't know. It was the last copy on the shelf at my local comic book shop. It cost $4.99, and it was interesting because it's a great quality. I mean, there are no ads. It's packed with just story on every page. I mean, and even the inside covers. I mean, that's just, it goes right to the last page. So if they're charging $4.99, and you got a solid, ad-free, and good paper, nice quality cover stock, and then DC is spending, you're charging $4.99 for something like Action or Batman, or something that has backup stories in there. And backup stories are usually part of the price of a normal funny book. So it's giving you the illusion of having more at that same price point. This was also $4.99 as well. Like I said, I saw this on Yule Carter's Fantastic Comics weekly show. Home of Crack That Slab. Great comic where Yule Carter cracks open a CBG graded plastic enveloped comic book and frees it so it can be read once again. Bravo, senor. Bravo. Salud. We salute thee. We do. Yule Carter's awesome. And this is Don't Spit in the Wind by Stefano Cardoselli and colorist letterer Dan Lee. Stefano Cardoselli is the writer and artist. It's nice. I'm trying to it looks a little digitally, or is it like, I'm not sure. Well, but it's got this Mobius kind of flair to it. Jean Girard, a.k.a. Mobius, fantastic French illustrator of the 60s and 70s and 80s. And it's just got this really great sci-fi look. And now it has the luggage of being, an ecological damage to Earth kind of thing, but it's got it's so well drawn. I love the colors. I love the look of the mecha, and it's got these. I grew up watching, with 70s style sci-fi art and these impossibly huge machines and spaceships and everything, and so it's very evocative of that. And I'm really liking these exosuits. These and they're piloted by people, and Earth is so far polluted that everyone lives on a space station. And what these people's job is to go down to Earth and just process the toxic waste and try to make it a bit more habitable. But maybe nature is revolting against humans, because here comes a biological threat in the form of locusts. And these locusts aren't having humans. So it's just the first issue. And it was really good. I enjoyed it. I like the art. I like the color. I like that I took a chance on. There were only 4 copies of this on the shelf, so when I counted them, because I was like, maybe Yule wants to know, because he owns a comic book shop. So Yule, there were 3 copies of this left on new release day on Wednesday, and I bought one, and because it's got a good cover. I like the color combination. It's very 80s to me. This is and then it's got a little backup, Exorcists Never Die, #1. I saw that on the shelf too. I passed on that. It just didn't grab me. But, we got a couple of preview pages. Some Templar level stuff. I'm like kind of done with that. It goes all the way to the back cover page too. So that's interesting. So I'm glad that I took a chance and I picked up 2 books that I never would have took a chance on. So thank you, Yule Carter. And he was going through the new releases. I think it was about maybe 2 weeks ago. So I'm not sure if they were new enough that they were on the new release shelf. And I picked them up. And that was fine. And will I come back for issues #2? We will find out, won't we? When we get there. We'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page that month. All right. And I guess the pick of the bunch here is, this is really fun. IDW. This is, this is cover A by Stan Sakai himself, the writer-artist of Usagi Yojimbo. It's a really nice cover, I think. And there's another cover that's done by Kevin Eastman, the original, the original artist and creator of one of the two. And this is just really fun because it's, once again, written for the trade, because you can just, nothing happens in this except it's all set up. So it's an issue #1, so you have to kind of be a little forgiving, especially when it's written for the trade. So the whole thing is just set up of the, the meeting and the worlds crossing with the magic or the time travel of having the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles end up in the past, having to team up with Usagi Yojimbo and his cast. And but I was never really into Usagi Yojimbo, but it was always part of the background. So this has been going on almost 40 years or so, by Stan Sakai as well. So he's one of the first writer creator owners, in this modern sense, and it's really fun. But what I like the most is Sakai's own interpretation of Kevin Eastman's style of those early Turtles books that I was into at that age. Now this might look simple or even childish, but I really adore this kind of rendition of the Ninja Turtles. This is fun to me. This looks like the old Kevin Eastman kind of style and vibe to it. It's like it's Stan Sakai doing Eastman and pulling it off. But it's like, it's not quite the Eastman style. It has its own charm. It has Sakai's charm, but I just really, really adore this interpretation of the Ninja Turtles. This is fun to me. So much fun. And and then they end up in being warped, going back in time. And where Usagi Yojimbo just, was fighting a river turtle, an anthropomorphic river turtle, and so named Cuppa. So now they think that they're dealing with Cuppa again. So of course they're going to fight, and then they're going to get over their differences, and they're going to realize they have more in common and share a foe, and then they're going to team up for the ending. I don't know how many issues are in this. It was $4.99, no ads. No ads. There are ads in the back, actually. House ads. You get exclusive covers. You got house ads for different collections. Once again, in here, there's a house ad for Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, and Star Trek as well. That's right. IDW has got the license for Star Trek, and it's new Trek. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. You know that, right? E Plebnista, LLAP, IDIC. and infinite diversity is infinite combination. And yeah, but there's no, it goes all the way 24. Yeah, we have 24 pages of story with no ads, and then we got some house ads in the back. That's nice. I really enjoyed this issue. I'm coming back for more at issue 2. And those 5 are my new releases of the week. Well, there's one more new release. We're saving that to the very end. And so, yeah. And then none of them are from the big 2. And I'm so happy that I'm taking chances and buying floppies that I never would have, too. It's great to be exposed to different things and have new suggestions. That's why we're at this coffee table. We're trying to turn each other on to, stories we've never read before. Isn't that cool? Well, you know me, and you know I love some Bronze Age babies, and I'm trying to recreate nostalgic bits from my childhood. I had this when I was a kid. This must have came off the spinner rack at Patty's Pantry, the corner store in Dorchester, before day camp, the YMCA day camp, and for 50 cents, 4 bits, 2 quarters in your pocket. I went to the corner store and off the spinner rack at Patty's Pantry on the corner of East Cottage and Dorchester Avenue. I bought this. This is Iron Man, the Invincible Iron Man number 152. And I was 8 years old in August of 1981 when this was on the spinner rack. Bought new. I read this to shreds. I've always loved this armor. Different Iron Man armors are also are great, but this is the premiere of the stealth armor. Indeed, with, I got a weakness for the Columbia 10-speed racer contest. Who won that? Who won the bike? It's got to be Jim Shooter's kid, of course. Who else? Yeah, and I like it that my comic book shop, has a stamp, and they stamp the backboards with a kind of, where did you get this? I got it for a decent price, $15, great condition. I got it in just going through the long boxes. I thumb through them occasionally. This was on my list. This is, I was like, oh, you're coming home with me, because I've been looking for this one. And we can tell that this was a direct market copy, because if it had the UPC coding, that would mean that it had returnability, and that was from a newsstand. Hello. So that's there's a chunk of years where that was the industry standard. Yeah, so I'm really happy to have got this one. What is at the end of this rainbow? Oh, there's a kiss at the end of the rainbow, more precious than a pot of... What? Let's see. This came in a box in a Gemini mailer. I got Cash Grab by Cecil. Signed by Cecil as well. All right, Cecil Jones himself signed this and mailed this to me. This is ribald, disgusting humor. It's not meant for everyone, but it's meant for me and people like me that like baser things, that giggle at goofy stuff. It's ribald. That means it's sexual in nature too. But it's over the top. It's smutty. Is it pornographic? No, but it sheds a lot of adult situations. It's about alcoholism and drug addictions and it's about a superhero for our times. And Cecil is the superhero for our times. This is legendary because this is Cash Grab. The comic that was never supposed to happen. It's late. It's got a reputation of will Cash Grab ever happen? It was like, this is a joke, isn't it? Like, this is never going to happen. Cash Grab's never ever going to show up. But surprise, it did. And what I liked about it, that these crowdfundings, I spent $25 on this, $35 with shipping and handling, and I crowdfunded it maybe like a year or so ago. So included in it comes the Cash Grab fan art. I love this. I actually DM'd Cecil, and I was like, dude, this is a really nice touch. The bonuses. It was a really nice touch. These are this is the fan art that opens up. If you watch Cecil's show, Cecil says it's adult content only. A lot of the old show had these as a slideshow before the episode started up, and isn't that great, Anna? It's like the Jack Show. Isn't that great? And I love the Jack Show. I actually, on Friday mornings, I wake up at 3:30 on weekdays. So the first thing I do is I turn on the Jack Show on Friday mornings and see how wasted Cecil is. And it's really fun. So it came with the extras here, the fan art. It came with a sticker. A backward sticker here. See that? Yeah. Cash Grab Comics. Cash Grab Comics. It came with cards. And it's cool. It's 6 cards because, like I said, these are the Jack Show hosts. J for John Malin, A for Anna, that Star Wars girl, C for Cecil, K for Kelsey, Shannon, comic book artist, and also like the permanent revolving co-host is Ethan Van Sciver. And they've got stats in the back and everything. This is so funny. Like Jack Show is not for everyone. Ribald, dirty humor in the vein of 1990s Howard Stern shock jockage. I mean, and if you take these people seriously, then the joke's on you and you are the problem. Seriously, these are goofs. If you, to take the, I don't want any of that argument. I just show up and I watch the shows and I have a good time. And it only makes me a bad person because you need an oppressor for your ideology to work. Seriously. And then the poster of Anna, that Star Wars girl, as in the Slave Leia outfit, and there's Cecil Fett, Boba Dick, DICK, diversity, inclusion, compassion, and kindness in comics. That's Cecil. Cecil is the hero that our world needs. Cecil is love. Cecil is life. Back cash grab. I did, and it's really fun. It was dirty-minded, and it's got great lettering. It's got good colors. It's good art, and it's it keeps the story. It's all over the place, and it's silly, and it's over the top, and it's fun, and it's not for everyone. It's rated R. It could be, maybe it's rated X, and it's adult humor. And yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that kids don't read comic books anymore, huh? Well, thank you so very much. It's been New Release Sunday. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. We talk about comic books every day, 3 o'clock, U.S. Eastern. Join us. Subscribe. Turn on those notifications. Ring that bell, please. We'd love to be part of your YouTube day and earn your subscription. We're on the march for our first 1,000 subscribers. Be part of it. Come daily. Be part of the conversation, this daily comic book shop style conversation. I gotta wrap this up. You have a great day. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.